friend of mine messaged me on Facebook and said, you want to buy a house? I know you're buying houses again. And I said, sure. One landlord owns one side of the road. Joe, my buddy, owns the other side of the road. And more or less, he's wanting to sell everything as a package.
Part of the 3 million or not?
Yes. We're driving to an apartment complex with my new best friend in the world, Cole. And we're going to look at it. It's not normally a property that I would buy for $1.2 million, but we're pulling up to it right now. He can make all the money in the world by bumping up the rents a little bit and putting some money into it. So we're pulling into the apartment complex and we're going to take a look at it, and it's everything around you right now. This is a private street, okay, where everything's for sale.
That's great.
So this is my absolute best new friend in the whole world. Your name is?
I'm Cole. Nice to meet you guys.
He's an investor that flew in from out of town. I've never asked people to come and visit me and do deals with me up until like a month ago, and the response that I received was phenomenal. And Cole's more into different kinds of properties than what I would like, or what I normally get. So he wanted to come to town and look at some higher end properties, some larger multifamily deals. We're looking here at an apartment complex today. It's kind of like a Class A neighborhood, Class B neighborhood compared to what I normally buy. And then we're going to go look at some properties that are a part of a 130 plus rental portfolio, partnered together on some properties. So, hey guys, would you like to buy a portfolio like this? If so, check out investmentjoy.com, where I am personally doing coaching and training on how to buy real estate, how to buy laundromats, how to buy car washes, and more. So go check it out and book a call with my team today. Cole is interested in some like B-grade real estate. Called the owner of this apartment complex, who I happen to know, and he's willing to sell it. So we're going to take Cole through and see what a couple of these units look like, and see if he's interested in purchasing it.
So Cole, what do you look for when you're investing in property?
Yeah, so I mean, it just depends, but right now, currently, I think with the current space we are in the real estate market, I'm looking for affordable housing. So just so this is 12, 16 units at 1.2 million. So you're talking about, what's that, 75K a unit? So you're way below average with a value add, and then you can refi, which just means up the value. The bank will say it's worth more money, and then you can get all your money out. So you're getting really affordable housing at good rents, and then you're basically doing a BRRRR, but at a commercial level. So you're getting a free 16 unit apartment complex that's probably not going to drop in rent rate or in value because it's already cheap.
So this is, according to Noah, this is like one of the medium units here. The whole facility was built in the mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
The owner, when he took these over, he renovated about half of the units. Okay. There's a lot of twos, a lot of threes. Okay. I always want to be on the more affordable side, and if you purchase this place, it doesn't matter what Brandon thinks. But I'm more about going on the better quality, cheaper price, because you will never have a vacancy. Don't worry about it. Right. You don't have to squeeze every dollar out of the deal. So should there ever be a recession or whatever, you've got room to sell it, you've got room to increase rents, you're always going to cash flow with it.
And so stainless steels and new kitchens and a floor plan like this would cost what, 15, maybe less?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a lot.
Yeah. $10,000 to $15,000. Labor's still decently cheap in this area. It's just going to take time to get it renovated. So you put $15,000 in a $75,000 unit. You go from $700 a month in rent to $900 to $1,000-ish. Your tenants are still happy. They're not furious at the price, but the quality is so much nicer. And what I've discovered the hard way is better quality units at a higher price attract much longer term tenants. And the longer term your tenants are, the more money you're going to make, because turnovers suck. So the bedrooms aren't really,
yeah, they're fine,
too big. I wonder who lives here. It must be a podcaster or work for somebody famous. So the bedrooms are just around, they're probably like 8 by 10s.
Yeah.
80 square foot, maybe 100 square foot.
Yeah.
So they're not gigantic bedrooms, but the thing is, you're at the lower price. Very good neighborhood.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough, because the new high school was just built right over there.
Right.
You've got a lot of older retirees on this road. Yeah. The two most expensive subdivisions in town are 2 blocks north and then half a mile north.
And you're near the university, right? So you
Yes.
can probably get away with doing higher rents.
Yeah.
Per the room,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the current owner of the apartment complex hates the idea of doing student housing, which to me would make all the sense in the world. You rent a place like this for, let's say, $500 or $600 per student.
Right.
You're not at $700 anymore. You're at $1,500 to $1,600.
Right.
Granted, you have to carry the utilities.
Plus, if it's anything like me or where I went to school, then you just always have tenants because
Yeah.
you want to live off campus, their friends take it next. They don't super care about the condition.
1.2 million out of the gate without any trying to
Right.
negotiate on it.
Yeah.
I figure I can ask for 50K
Yeah.
and a price reduction.
I always do this. I don't actually care about price reductions because I'm leveraging the money.
Okay.
I wonder if he would do a credit for repairs.
Oh, I bet
Which is basically a price reduction, right? But
Yeah.
give me, instead of giving me 1.1, give me 100 for repairs, and then you can do 6
Yeah.
of these kitchens right off the bat.
Yeah. And with a place like this, you can still keep the rents low, but you can increase your cap rate enough to make it really worth your while.
Right.
So this is the other unit here that we can get in, but it's a 3-bedroom with the exact same layout as the last one we looked at.
Right.
So it's another 3-bedroom with small bedrooms. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a stain mattress here, so. In a solid B neighborhood.
Yeah.
You could do pretty much whatever you want. You could do Section 8, you could do just nicer quality rentals, you could keep it as is.
Yeah, because as is, I mean, you probably wouldn't have to do repairs for Section 8.
No, you could just fill it up with Section 8.
But that comes with a lot of, downside.
It depends on how you
You know
do
how
it.
to screen tenants, it doesn't.
The big thing that I have found out is if you can become good friends with your local caseworkers at Section 8, they can they can't give you advice on the Section 8 tenants, but they can say, hey, I would go talk to the neighbor on this person. I had one tenant, Section 8 person say, hey, can't tell you anything about this person, but I want you to go, or you should do some interviews with the neighbors. And we found out the guy that had a Section 8 voucher, he was robbing the elderly neighbors for their pills. Like we said inside the rental, we're in a good neighborhood. We're not dealing in crack pipe central so I'm going to drive real quick through. This is Sylvan Village over here. Okay. They started building out this subdivision in 88, 89. The current median price is in the high 200s, low 300s. The most expensive house that sold in the past 5 years sold here for like $750,000, $850,000.
Is that your house?
No.
No. Okay, no. Mine.
So over here, we've got 2 institutionally owned apartment complexes.
Okay.
And they are almost identical to the one that we looked at. It's like everything. Everything's for sale if you talk to the right person. That's why we're doing the real estate course and doing a lot of education and training online, because it's like the average person, I don't think, knows that we could knock on these people's doors, or we find them on Facebook, could like Facebook stalk these people and ask them, do you have any interest in selling your house? And even if your success rate's 1% and you make $100,000 on the deal, it's still worth it. You Chillicothe, and we're going to look at a couple portfolio places. Okay. And then we'll look at the house that I think I accidentally bought you for. Sounds good. 20, 25-ish. So we're here because I agreed to buy a house for Cole.
I love when I get houses.
I had a friend of mine message me on Facebook and said, you want to buy a house? I know you're buying houses again. And I said, sure, tell me what you want and let's do it. So we're coming up here in a little bit, and I bought Cole a house. I'm going to take a real quick walk down the alleyway, because if he wants it, he can have it. And the deal is it's 20, 25,000-ish after the fees. I'm going to pay a assignment or wholesale fee. Right. And the other house that I'm flipping, we've just went under contract at $87,500. My maintenance guys called me on the way down here and said that somebody dumped a couch on the back of the property. This is the dreaded air conditioner that's not working right. So it failed the inspection due to this stupid thing, so we're tearing it out and putting a brand new one in.
Yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't look like it works.
This is the point where I could stick my fingers down into the compressor capacitor and electrocute myself live on Facebook or YouTube.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be bad.
That would definitely go viral.
Yeah, it would go viral. That'd be good TikTok, electrocuting myself and dying. Really, the only reason we're in here is because I have to use the bathroom shortly. The nice thing with having a bunch of houses, you always have somebody.
Always have somewhere to go.
This is what like a $40,000 house in Ohio looks like.
40,000.
I think we're doing $1,500 in concessions and title fees and closing costs. So these are the Wise cameras we've been putting all over our rentals. So we actually have this one, but it did not get this person that broke into the basement 3 months ago to dump trash down there, because, there's advantages to flipping. You get money quick, but then on the other side of the spectrum, you're also going to pay more taxes. But
what's
if you've got
ARV at? 90?
probably 80s to 90s.
Okay, and you can rent it for what?
$850 a month.
Oh, so I can cash
all day long. Yeah, you can cash out refinance it, or like we were talking before, it would rent all day at probably $900 on Section 8, maybe even a little more than that. Because with the increase in cost and the price of everything with real estate, inflation is just blowing rents up. There is an opportunity to just rent it to HUD for $850 to $1,000 a month and call it a day. HUD is Housing and Urban Development. When I say HUD, I really mean Metropolitan Housing, Section 8. The government has a program to where if you don't make enough money to afford a house, the government will give you a housing assistance voucher that will pay either part of or all of your rent. So this is it. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath house. Okay. 25K. Sean's got it under contract now, and he's wanting to do an assignment on it. So
yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited to, you know, get some form of inspection. But yeah, absolutely, definitely interested.
So just there's opportunity everywhere you go. Here's an empty lot. We could get it for $5,000 or $6,000. We could bring in a stick-built modular type home, $100,000, and build a property there and get $1,000 a month off of it. So with that house, we could flip it. We could rent it out for probably $850 a month. Wow. Have $35,000 in it. If you want to do that deal, that's why you came to Ohio, to see Mr. Investment Joy, to do business together.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a part of this portfolio, effectively the whole entire street could be purchased. I really like this neighborhood because the prices are really low. When they built the bypass here, they devalued practically everything. So Cole wanted to come to town. He wanted to look at some real estate that was for sale, and a buddy of mine is wanting to just sell and retire and move to Florida. And as a part of that, he wants $3 million for the package, and for the most part, no one's really willing to offer him $3 million for the package. They feel that it's undervalued, but from my standpoint, you buy it for 3, you put 1.5 in it, you've got 4.5 total in it. The whole package is worth $7.5 million. One landlord owns one side of the road. Joe, my buddy, owns the other side of the road, and more or less he's wanting to sell everything as a package.
Part of the $3 million or not?
Yes. The guy that's looking suspiciously at us, he's standing in front of the rooming house over there. The demand in this area is easily for 100 of those.
Wow.
So rooming houses are super high demand, but no one wants to do it because of the logistics cost of it.
Sure.
Having somebody come in and manage it. It's part of the package. As far as the actual structure goes, it's $50,000.
Oh, this is just one building.
Yes.
I thought it was 22 of the units.
There's 22 units in there.
And how many buildings is it in the portfolio total?
60.
60.
Okay. 60
50K.
buildings. 60 buildings, 120 doors. Sorry, 123 doors.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a pretty good one, and he's done a really good job on taking care of it. We're looking at this package that no local investors are really interested in buying because it's just a lot of money, incredible amount of money.
I've got a bank that I think would give it to us for $1 million down, including the rehab.
Okay.
And so if he could basically hold that $1 million for us, we could give him $2 million immediately.
Up front.
And then when we refi, we could even give...
I think he could do that because I've asked him about that, and he said, I don't understand it at all. Yeah. And I said, so you're not willing to, delay a little bit of the payment while somebody else comes in and fixes it up? And he's like, I don't have any interest in that. You generate paper like we talked about. Yeah. You don't do it a $1 million carryback. You do it at like 1.2 million. So someone else has a $200,000 or even $100,000 upside, and you essentially get the benefits of seller finance. It's just you have 2 financing parties as opposed to 1 sole financing party. Yeah. So then you get the bank in, and they'll do
I think I'd get a bank to do about 80% easy.
Yeah.
Or a funding source.
Probably we'll go back to the office and look at some of the numbers and kind of break the cost down, figure out how much money there is to be made, excluding the house I already agreed to buy Monday. Hey guys, this is Brandon with Investment Joy. Thanks for watching. Do me a big favor and like this video. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell.